Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, there's a massive PlayStation 5 Pro update that has now been officially announced, and it's going to be kind of a big game changer for the console itself. There's brand new technology integrated with AMD, which is basically the company making the internal hardware of the console itself. So we're going to talk about that all throughout this video. And I do want to go give a quick little shout out to as well for all of you guys. Number one, thank you guys all for just being fantastic on the YouTube community, for everyone who's been watching the channel, subscribing, and overall, even like the last few videos I've had too have just been overall fantastic. And we are still tinkering around the green screen. This will look a lot nicer very soon, but bear with me. And of course, even on our second YouTube account, I think I just made a quick little reaction video on there. If you guys want to subscribe down below, because we're starting to get that active with like shorts and clips. Thank you, everyone. You guys have all been fantastic. So all of you guys that always like the videos and just watch the content I make in the first place, I still sometimes get astonished that someone like 3,000 people watched a normal video I uploaded yesterday. So thank you guys all very much for always being fantastic. So subscribe if you guys are new, or the second channel, or the Twitters and all that, links down below. And just thank you as always so much for watching. So today I had some really big news, like huge. Just as big as my face. Once again, this will look nicer. The hair even looks crazy. I don't. Let me cook. But basically, right now we're actually seeing some really big news that Sony is going to be updating the graphics even with the brand new PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as you guys know, there's a few ways to kind of tinker and make things better. And as of now, we've been seeing a lot of AI integrations, both with PC. Like for your PC, you have things even like ray tracing and other different types of machine learning, which has been kind of filling in the blanks, making shadows look nicer, making lighting look better, making textures look better, whatever. But we've also been seeing other various things like Windows having its own type of AI for upscaling and basically downscaling, rendering. But of course, I'm sure you guys know about the PSSR. So right now, the big meta for all these the game companies on PC, on the Switch, too, probably on Xbox and Xbox, PlayStation 5 Pro, is all on AI integrations, or something even as simple as a graphics update. Like if you guys have had a PC, I'm sure you've had like your drivers update, which can also make the game run better. It optimizes, fixes bugs, whatever it might be. And that's kind of what PlayStation's doing right now in this big new stuff, saying that Sony will give the PS5 Pro crispier graphics by backporting to FSR 4. Basically, like the high level of this is that they're kind of changing up some of the coding and some of the engineering inside of it, and they're working towards it to make it so that the PlayStation 5 Pro is just better. It's just an overall graphical update, and it's bigger than what's already there in the first place with PSSR, and of course, PSSR will keep on getting better and better and better over time. That's the whole idea of machine learning. The more you have for like overall examples and basically the internal, like just you have like the files to go and be like, this is what makes it better. Like you have the trial and error is maybe the better word for it, to make it perfect. And that's what they've been slowly stacking on up with all the brand new people buying their PS5 Pros. So as of right now, Sony says it's working on a re-implementation of AMD's, which is also the maker of the graphics cards and the internals for the consoles themselves, so they would know. We also did know a few months ago that they had a chance to make a proper update with AMD, where the PlayStation themselves worked with AMD to go make their console better, like working with internal AI integrations and kind of like AMD driver stuff for PlayStation specifically. Like PlayStation themselves are funding it, and they were working with the team using and cross-engineering their teams to make it better. So this also might be some of the fruits of the labor with that one, having a stronger business connection, which is crazy that Xbox doesn't do this, but we kind of know that Xbox is more so going towards PC and their own AI and kind of not really caring that much about consoles. They'd rather put Game Pass on TVs. But basically saying Sony says it's working on a re-implementation of our AMD's FSR 4 upscaler that makes the PS5 Pro games look crisper. So today they can already go and produce crisper, sharper, smoother, and more stable graphics than a PS5, and if you sit close enough to appreciate them. But starting in 2026, the company hopes to imbue games with the new AI upscaling formula that'll make them even crisper. Based on the AMD FSR 4 technique that's now shipping with AMD's new RX 9070s and the 9070 XT graphics cards, it appears to be competitive against NVIDIA's latest DLSS as well. Basically saying with the brand new also GPUs that just got announced that are actually, people are saying are better than NVIDIA's. NVIDIA's kind of more so pushed towards the AI market. They make AI like hosting chips. So say like you have like these big data centers, like NVIDIA's making a lot of money from like the Googles and Microsofts and like OpenAI, building on these NVIDIA like almost GPUs, but they're mainly for computing AI and like AI hosting. A little bit confusing, but they're just making a lot of money on AI. AMD is still making money on AI too. They're trying to get into the data hosting. They're just basically an NVIDIA Lite, which is why I have a little bit of their stock myself. But their most recent graphics cards are kind of taking a leap away from NVIDIA. And it's all good because better, like basically better drivers, better updates, better optimizations will also make consoles better too. Because if AMD is now the new GPU market, which it kind of seems like they're doing pretty good with these cards, they're cheaper and better, but their drivers are usually more iffy and they're not as widespread. But I've never been against AMD. I've had a few AMD builds myself. So basically, this is just making sure all their future technology can also be replaced and uploaded to consoles as well. So it might also be good for Xbox if they make another console. But right now, this is mostly proprietary tech. Saying our target to have something very similar to FSR 4's upscaler available on the PS5 Pro for 2026 titles as the next evolution of PSSR, PlayStation's lead architect Mark Cerny tells Digital Foundry. Many new PS5 Pro games already use an AI upscaler called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, the PSSR, on their AMD-based chips. PSSR can turn 720p images into 4K, and we saw it with like PS3, PS4 games being upscaled, even utilizing this brand new technology. They're a little bit iffy at times, but they'll get better over time as well. And they were able to go make this into 4K on the fly while adding extra particle effects. And we've been relatively impressed by its quality compared to, say, FSR 3. But Sony and AMD's relationship didn't stop there. It turns out that the neural network that underpins AMD's new FSR 4 upscaler was part of a collaboration with Sony, as I mentioned before. They've been working closely together. We saw those leaks and we covered that on a video like a few months ago. And now Sony plans now to backport some of this technology and its brand new work to the flagship as well, PlayStation console. So it kind of seems like from this one, both PlayStation, but also the PlayStation 5 Pro might be getting some pretty big updates due to the internals themselves. This is potentially really big. So in December, Sony and AMD announced, and this is what we talked about before, a multi-year collaboration called Project Amethyst. One that we're now learning actually began back in 2023, but we just saw the leaks of it a few weeks ago. Like I said, we made a video on it. So the neural network and the training recipe in FSR 4's upscaler are the first results of the Amethyst collaboration. He says, calling it a more advanced approach that can exceed the crispness of PSSR. Basically saying that they actually have gotten a better iteration and a better version than the PSSR, which is crazy because you would think Sony's proprietary tech would be better at the end of the day. But I mean, at the same time, if you can imagine you have like $1 billion company, but then they're working with another $1 billion company. So in theory, you'd be able to go and kind of min-max and make that same technology even better. So they could be like, oh, we could do this with the PSSR, then fill in the blank for this and fill in the blank for this. And I'm sure you guys can see the collaborative effort that would make it better over time. For now, though, Cerny says it's still encouraging developers to use PSSR, which is crazy. That might be a completely separate topic, and I'm going to maybe deep dive into that myself because the whole purpose of that was that's like the selling point kind of. But I mean, if they have other alternatives, it's good. But if the base PS5 gets it, also might be weird. Completely different topic. But as it will take time to re-implement FSR 4 upscaling network into the PS5 Pro and its games. Cerny suggests that Sony will have its own implementations of each algorithm it develops with AMD from here on out. He also hints Project Amethyst may be more than home consoles though, so even expanding out besides the PS5 and the PS5 Pro. Saying, now to be clear, this technology has uses beyond PlayStation, and it's about supporting broad work in machine learning across a variety of devices. The biggest win is when developers can freely move their code from device to device. Interesting, and that also might be something for upcoming PlayStation handhelds. We've had a few lingering rumors of a PSP 2, like a PS Vita 2, mainly because we've also had a massive success with the PlayStation Portal. A PlayStation Portal is more of a stream device, like you stream and kind of remote play through that, versus you actually having it all on the device itself, like a proper handheld, which we actually did hear some Xbox handheld news. We might have a video on that for tomorrow. So subscribe if you guys are not already. Like if you guys are curious on that. I'm very curious myself. So anyway, there's a big comparison for it, and even Digital Foundry's had a few things on this too as well. But the big picture of this, and like I said, we may expand this in 1 or 2 videos because this is actually probably the biggest news we've seen so far on the PlayStation PS5 Pro. The PS5 utilizing some of these graphics might be an improvement. Like there actually might be an overall improvement through the internal upgrades with it. And as well, the fact that the PSSR Pro might be getting diminished out, like I said, we'll talk about that more in a separate video and break it on down because that's a crazy topic. It's also crazy, but also shows that this will also have a cross integration of different types of AI because it didn't seem like the PSSR was gone, but with this like cross integration of like I said before, like AMD's AI and upscaling, maybe fill in some blanks for the PSSR, and the PSSR maybe using like, say, I don't know, maybe animation improvements or like background improvements. And then you have like the same different type of AMD AI to like kind of fill in those blanks too with maybe like their own iteration of ray tracing. Like there's a lot of like commingling over here which are making the fingers and the whole game console like this. So instead of it just being like this on both ends, they can decide to work together, which they already have since apparently 2023, to make everything better overall. So it might make the PS5 better based on their wording, might make the PS5 Pro better, might make the PSSR better until they maybe like scale it out, which would be crazy if they do. But once again, if you have a better option, might as well push it. And I think this is huge news nonetheless. So give me your thoughts and comments on everything down below. Subscribe here if you guys want. And our second channel is starting to get active. We also have the 2 Twitters down below, the Twitches, and to give your thoughts and comments on everything down below.